So in this video we are discussing about the facilities required in a hospital pharmacy. So the facilities, that is, in smaller hospitals with one pharmacist, only one room is required for pharmacy, having a combination of dispensing, manufacturing, administration and all of the pharmaceutical services. That is, if the hospitals are like 50 bedded, at least 3 pharmacists should be there. If the hospitals are of 100 bed, 5 pharmacists, and 200 bed, 8 pharmacists. So some conditions are there. So if the number of beds in the hospital increase, correspondingly the staff should also increase, because this much requirement of staff should be there for the proper management of patients. Then sterile products should be stored in a separate room or area. In large hospitals with example more than 200 beds, departmentalization of pharmacy activities is required. Like I told you, DIC, that is in the same department only, pharmacy only, but DIC will be functioning separately. Sometimes dispensing will be separate, sometimes procurements will be acting separately. So not in together, it will be departmentalized. Then a separate area is required for inpatient services and unit dose dispensing. So we will be discussing in the coming videos what is inpatient services and unit dose dispensing. Then outpatient services and office for the chief pharmacist. So these are the facilities required in a hospital pharmacy. Then there should be a compounding room, preparing and labeling room should be there separately, a store room should be there, a sterile products room, that is where the room where only the sterile products are stored, a separate area for drug information services, and space assigned on various nursing units for unit dose drug administration. Then floor space requirements. So 250 square feet is a minimum required area for any sized hospital. So this is a minimum floor space required for any type of hospitals. Then 10 square feet per bed in 100 bedded hospital, 6 square feet per bed in 200 bedded hospital. Then floors of pharmacy should be smooth, easily washable and acid resistant. So the floors, it should be very neat and clean. Then the manufacturing sessions, drains should be there, walls should be there. Then it should be always painted in light color. So usually the pharmacies prefer white color only rather than going for any other colors. Then wooden cabinets will be laminated. Fluorescent lamps are placed above the prescription counter. You will be able to see in the prescription counter, you will be given a token number. So that token number will be just called out at the time of dispensing. So based on the tokens and all, you will be called out. So such lamps facilities can also be available in a hospital pharmacy. Then counter for Bunsen burner is also required. So this is the requirements on basis of the bed strength, that is it is specified as per the area in square feet. You can see the storeroom, if it is a 100 bedded hospital, 450 square feet should be there for a storeroom. Like that for dispensary, office, manufacturing of tablets and capsules. You can see for tablets, if it is a 700 bedded hospital, 900 square feet area should be there. Like that for each and every manufacturing there are certain specifications, so you can just see through it. Next we are going to discuss regarding requirements and abilities required for a hospital pharmacy. What are the what are the abilities of a hospital pharmacist and the requirements. So the requirement, the head of the hospital department should be hospital pharmacy department should be a postgraduate in pharmacy. He should be a postgraduate in pharmacy. Basically he should be much more familiar with the topics like pharmaceutics, pharmacology or hospital pharmacy. Then he should act as a coordinator for the pharmacy and non-pharmacy, that is for every staff he should act as a coordinator. Reports to the administrator and interacts with other medical departments. Then this is how the flowchart of requirements of a hospital pharmacist. We have already seen a director will be there, dean will be there, sometimes a superintendent of pharmaceutical services. There will be a superintendent for pharmacy also, or a chief pharmacist. So the qualification of a chief pharmacist is M.Pharm. Currently it is M.Pharm only. Then again the subdivisions for the pharmacist are, for drug distribution department the pharmacist should have a qualification of B.Pharm. for a medical store, that is almost with B Pharm, the pharmacist should have a qualification of B Pharm only. Then two pharmacists of B Pharm or B Pharm for dispensing purposes. Then postgraduate should be there if you want to work under the quality control department of an hospital pharmacy. So such postgraduate pharmacists will be appointed under the quality control. Then the abilities required: technical ability, that is hospital pharmacist should have the basic knowledge on pharmacology, toxicology, route of administration, stability, etc. So if you have an idea regarding all these aspects, you will be able to shine in this area. Then provide information regarding the proper handling of drugs. He should be a part of medical team with enough confidence among his colleagues through the technical competence. The next ability is ability to develop a manufacturing session. That is, manufacturing within a hospital requires control over supply, quality, equipment and raw material cost. Then he has to organize the manufacturing function by doing proper cost benefit analysis. I have told you mainly we should look for minimum cost of the products. Then other abilities are administrative ability, like he should be able to plan, organize and control various functions of hospital pharmacy. He should also prepare work schedules for the staff. So that is another important role, that is he should prepare a schedule for the staff from the various policies and procedure to get the work done. Interact with staffs daily, maintain legal and administrative records properly. Then ability to control the inventory. What is inventory? What are its other types and all? We will be seeing in the coming lecture. Then ability to conduct and participate in research. That is, the pharmacist should have a minimum information about the pharmaceutical journals which is available. Then ability to conduct teaching programs. I have told you, that is continuing education program should be given for medical staff as well as to the other staff present in the hospital, mainly nursing staff and all. Then chief pharmacist is also responsible for the practical training of pharmacy students. Even if you are students are appointed in the hospitals, the training for the training for the students, pharmacy students, should be given only by a chief pharmacist. So only if chief pharmacist is there, you will be able to go for in a hospital as a trainees. So that's all regarding my lecture. Thank you.